was in my prime. God's friendship was felt in my home. The Almighty was still with me, and my children were around me. My steps were awash in cream, and the rocks gushed olive oil for me. Those were the days when I went to the city gate and took my place among the honored leaders. The young stepped aside when they saw me, and even the aged rose in respect at my coming. The princess stood in silence. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you so much for the heart me. The highest officials of the city stood quietly, holding their tongues in respect. All who heard me praised me. All who saw me spoke well of me. Thank you. For I assisted the poor in their need, and the orphans who required help. I helped those without hope, and they blessed me. And I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. Everything I did was honest. Righteousness covered me like a robe. Thank you, Mama G. And I wore justice like a turban. I served as eyes for the blind and feet for the lame. I was a father to the poor and assisted strangers who needed help. I broke the jaws of godless oppressors and plucked their victims from their teeth. I thought, surely I will die surrounded by my family after a long, good life. For I am like a tree whose roots reach the water. Those branches are refreshed with the dew. New honors are constantly bestowed on me, and my strength is continually renewed. Everyone listened to my advice. They were silent as they waited for me to speak. Hi, Kai. And after I spoke, they had nothing to add, for my counsel satisfied them. They longed for me to speak as people long for rain. They drank my words like a refreshing spring rain. When they were discouraged, I smiled at them. My look of approval was precious to them. Like a chef, I told them what to do. I lived like a king among his troops and comforted those who mourned. So Job is looking back at his life when everything was good. And honestly, I think I've been guilty of that. I've definitely, in my dark times have looked at my past and wished things were like that, or back the way things used to be. But I don't know, I think it's in those times it's when we have to trust God the most and try not to reminisce about the past. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to look back on the past whenever you're going through something hard. I'm very guilty. I feel like a lot of us are. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us go through that. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, good. Okay, we're on Job, chapter 30. Job speaks of his anguish. But now I am mocked by people younger than I, by young men whose fathers are not worthy to run with my sheepdogs. Doing that. 7 minutes ago. It's okay. I think I probably did that today too. I don't think it's a bad thing to do. I think we just need to be cautious about doing it too much, you know? Hi, Nisha. Thank you for the heart me. Hi, Valeria. Hi. Welcome. We're on Job chapter 30. Job chapter 30. A lot of good they are to me, these worn out wrenches. They are gaunt from poverty and hunger. They claw the dry ground in a desolate wasteland. They pluck wild greens from among the bushes. Yes, get your headphones. And eat from the roots of broom trees. Hi, Mary Love. They are driven from human society, and people shout at them as if they were thieves. So now they live in frightening ravines, in caves, and among the rocks. They sound like animals howling among the bushes, huddled together beneath the nettle. They are nameless fools, outcasts from society. And now they mock me with vulgar songs. They taunt me. Thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Oh, Tony, of course, I'll pray for you. Of course. Let me write down your name. They despise me and won't come near me, except to spit in my face. For God has cut my bowstring. He has humbled me. Okay. That is so nice, Cassie. That's such a blessing to be able to work with kids. Let me see. So they have thrown off all restraint. These outcasts oppose me to my face. They send me sprawling and lay traps in my path. They block my road and do everything they can to destroy me. They know I have no one to help me. They come at me from all directions. They jump on me when I am down. I live in terror now. My honor has blown away in the wind, and my prosperity has vanished like a cloud. And now my life seeps away. Depression haunts my days. At night, my bones are filled with pain, which gnaws at me relentlessly. With a strong hand, God grabs my shirt. He grips me by the collar of my coat. He has thrown me into the mud. I'm nothing more than dust and ashes. I cry to you, O God, but you don't answer. I stand before you, but you don't even look. You have become cruel towards me. You use your power to persecute me. You throw me into the whirlwind and destroy me in the storm. And I know you are sending me to my death. If only Job knew the destination of all who live. Surely no one would turn against the needy when they cry for help in their trouble. Did I not weep for those in trouble? Was I not deeply grieved for the needy? So I looked for good, but evil came instead. I waited for the light, but darkness fell. My heart is troubled and restless. Days of suffering torment me. I walk in gloom without sunlight. I stand in the public square and cry for help. Instead, I am considered a brother to jackals and a companion to owls. My skin has turned dark, and my bones burn with fever. My harp plays sad music, and my flute accompanies those who weep. Go space. Cassie. It's interesting that this is what he's talking about. Hi Shayla. Oh, thank you, Marcos. I was literally thinking about this the other day because I was learning about lament. I was learning about the word lament and what does it mean to lament in the Bible. And one of the examples was the book of Job. And to lament is to cry out to God. And I think, of course, it's okay to go to your, thank you, Marcus, to go to your brothers and sisters in Christ and to lament to them, right? But it's also necessary to lament to God, to cry out to God, to tell Him what's going on in your life, to, show Him how much you're suffering. Because I don't think God is not afraid of our suffering. If anything, He wants us to go to Him when we're sad. Agree. Oh no, Shayla. Hold on, I want to look at the actual definition of lament. Lament definition in the Bible. Okay. In a biblical context, I do speak Spanish. Lament refers to an expression of sorrow, grief, or regret, often through prayer or poetry directed towards God, acknowledging pain and seeking comfort, hope, and deliverance. And then, let me see. Often lament begins with an address to God, acknowledging His presence and seeking His attention. Oh my goodness, I've lamented to God so many times. Hi Tony, I'm glad you're back. I was reading Matthew. Really? I literally learned about that word last night, Marcos. I was listening to a podcast. We're reading the ending of Job because or if my heart has lusted for what my eyes have seen, or if I am guilty, or if I am guilty of any other sin, then let someone else eat the crops I have planted. Let all that I have planted be uprooted. If my heart has been seduced by a woman, or if I have lusted for my neighbor's wife, then let my wife serve another man. Let another man sleep with her. For lust is a shameful sin, a crime that should be punished. It is a fire that burns all the way to hell. It would wipe out everything I own. If I have ever been unfair to my male or female servants, when they brought out their complaints to me, hi DJ, how could I face God? What could I say when he questioned me? For God created both me and my servants. He created us both in the womb. Have I refused to help the poor or crush the hopes of widows? Have I been stingy with my food or refused to share it with orphans? No, from childhood I have cared for orphans like a father, and all my life I have cared for widows. Whenever I saw the homeless without clothes, and the needy with nothing to wear, did they not praise me for providing wool clothing to keep them warm? If I raised my hand against an orphan, knowing the judges would take my side, then let my shoulder be wrenched out of its place. Let my arm be torn from its socket. That would be better than facing God's judgment. For if the majesty of God opposes me, what hope is there? Have I put my trust in money, or felt secure because of my gold? Have I gloated about my wealth and all that I own? Have I looked at the sun shining in the skies, or the moon walking down its silver pathway, and been secretly enticed in my heart to throw kisses at them in worship? If so, I should be punished by the judges, for it would mean I have denied the God of heaven. Have I ever rejoiced when disaster struck my enemies, or become excited when harm came their way? No, I have never sinned by cursing anyone or by asking for revenge. My servants have never said, "He let others go hungry." I have never turned away a stranger, but have opened my doors to everyone. Have I tried to hide my sins like other people do, concealing my guilt in my heart? Have I feared the crowd or the contempt of the masses, so that I kept quiet and stayed indoors? If only someone would listen to me. Look, I will sign my name to my defense. Let the Almighty answer me. Let my accuser write out the charges against me. I would face the accusations proudly. I would wear it like a crown, for I would tell him exactly what I have done. I would come before him like a prince. If my land accuses me, and all its furrows cry out together, or if I have stolen its crops or murdered its owners, then let thistles grow on that land instead of wheat, and weeds instead of barley. Job's words are ended. It's kind of crazy how Job was able to say that he hasn't participated in any of those things. And I think it goes goes to show that bad things don't happen to you because you're a bad person, and good things don't happen to you because you're a good person. Life happens to everyone. Good and bad happens to everyone. Elihu responds to Job's friends. Job's 3 friends is how you deal with the it's how you deal with the obstacles, exactly. Oh, thank you, Mom. Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. Let's see, let's do... Oh, I love the little finger hearts. Those are so cute. Okay. Alright. Job chapter 32, verse 1. Job's 3 friends refused to reply further to him because he kept insisting on his innocence. Then Elihu, son of Barachel the Buzite of the clan of Ram, became angry. He was angry because Job refused to admit that he had sinned and that God was right in punishing him. Ay, ay, ay. He was also angry with Job's 3 friends, for they made God appear to be wrong by their inability to answer Job's arguments. Elihu had waited for the others to speak to Job because they were older than he. But when he saw that they had no further reply, he spoke out angrily. Elihu, son of Barachel the Buzite, said, I am young and you are old, so I held back from telling you what I think. I thought those who are older should speak, for wisdom comes with age. It's funny because that's not even true. It doesn't always come with age. But there is a spirit within people, the breath of the Almighty within them, that makes them intelligent. Sometimes the elders are not wise. Sometimes the aged do not understand justice. So listen to me and let me tell you what I think. I have waited all this time, listening very carefully to your arguments, listening to you grope for words. I have listened, but not one of you have refuted Job or answered his arguments. And don't tell me he is too wise for us, only God can convince him. If Job had been arguing with me, I would not answer with your kind of logic. You sit there baffled with nothing more to say. Should I continue to wait now that you are silent? Must I also remain silent? No, I will say my piece. I will speak my mind, for I am full of pent-up words, and the spirit within me urges me on. I am like a cask of wine without a vent, like a new wineskin ready to burst. I must speak to find relief. So let me give my answers. I won't play favorites or try to flatter anyone. For if I tried flattery, my Creator would soon destroy me. Job chapter 33. Listen to my words, Job. Pay attention to what I have to say. Now that I have begun to speak, let me continue. I speak all sincerity, I speak the truth, for the Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty gives me life. I'm reading Job chapter 33, verse 5. Job chapter 33, verse 5. Answer me if you can. Make your case and take your stand. Look, you and I both belong to God. I too was formed from clay, so you don't need to be afraid of me. I won't come down hard on you. You have spoken in my hearing, and I have heard your very words. You said, I am pure, I am without sin, I am innocent, I have no guilt. God is picking a quarrel with me, and he considers me his enemy. He puts my feet in the stocks and watches my every move. But you are wrong, and I will show you why. For God is greater than a human being. So why are you bringing a charge against him? Why say... Oh my goodness, I accidentally skipped the page. Why say he does not... Okay, yeah. Why say he does not respond to people's complaints? For God speaks again and again, though people do not recognize it. He speaks in dreams, in visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on people as they lie in their beds. He whispers in their ears and terrifies them with warnings. He makes them turn from doing wrong. He keeps them from pride. He protects them from the grave, from crossing over the river of death. Or God disciplines people with pain on their sick beds, with ceaseless aching in their bones. They lose their appetite for even the most delicious food. Their flesh wastes away, and their bones stick out. They are at death's door. The angels of death wait for them. But if an angel from heaven appears, a special messenger, to intercede for a person and declare that he is upright, he will be gracious and say, rescue him from the grave, for I have found a ransom for his life. Then his body will become as healthy as a child's, firm and youthful again. When he prays to God, he will be accepted, and God will receive him with joy and restore him to good standing. He will declare to his friends, I sinned and twisted the truth, but I was not worth it. God rescued me from the grave, and now my life is filled with light. Yes, God does these things again and again for people. He rescues them from the grave, so they may enjoy the light of life. Mark this well, Job. Listen to me, for I have more to say. But if you have anything to say, go ahead. Speak, for I am anxious to see you justified. But if not, then listen to me. Keep silent, and I will teach you wisdom. Then Elihu said, listen to me, you wise men. Pay attention, you who have knowledge. Job said, the ear tests the words it hears, just as the mouth distinguishes between food. So let us discern for ourselves what is right. Let us learn together what is good. For Job also said, I am innocent, but God has taken away my rights. I am innocent, but they call me a liar. My suffering is incurable. a Snoopy cup. Okay. Tell me, has there ever been a man like Job with his thirst for irreverent talk? He chooses evil people as companions. He spends his time with wicked men. He has even said, "Why waste time trying to please God?" He said that. Listen to me, you who have understanding. Everyone knows that God doesn't sin. The Almighty can do no wrong. He repays people according to their deeds. He treats people as they deserve. Truly, God will not do wrong. The Almighty will not twist justice. Who set the whole world in place? If God were to take back his spirit and withdraw his breath, all life would cease, and humanity would turn again to dust. Now listen to me. If you are wise, pay attention to what I say. Could God govern if he hated justice? Are you going to condemn the Almighty Judge? For he says to kings, "You are wicked," and to nobles, "You are unjust." He doesn't care how great a person may be. He pays no more attention to the rich than to the poor. He made them all. In a moment they die. In the middle of the night they pass away. The mighty are removed without human hand. For God watches how people live. He sees everything they do. No darkness is thick enough to hide the wicked from his eyes. We don't set the time when we will come before God in judgment. He brings the mighty to ruin without asking anyone. And he sets up others in their place. He knows what they do, and in the night he overturns and destroys them. He strikes them down because they are wicked, doing it openly for all to see. For they turned away from following him. They have no respect for any of his ways. They cause the poor to cry out, catching God's attention. He hears the cries of the needy, but if he chooses to remain quiet, who can criticize him? When he hides his face, no one can find him, whether an individual or a nation. He prevents the godless from ruling, so they cannot be a snare to people. Why don't people say to God, "I have sinned, but I will sin no more"? Or, "I don't know what evil I have done. Tell me. If I have done wrong, I will stop at once." Must God tailor his justice to your demands? But you have rejected him. The choice is yours, not mine. Go ahead, share your wisdom with us. After all, bright people will tell me, and wise people will hear me say, "Job speaks out of ignorance. His words lack insight." Job, you deserve the maximum penalty for the wicked way you have talked, for you have added rebellion to your sin. You show no respect. You speak many angry words against God. Do you think it is right for you to claim, "I am righteous before God"? For you also ask. Thank you for the heart, me. What's in it for me? What's the use of living a righteous life? I will answer you and all your friends too. Look up into the sky. and see the clouds high above. If you sin, how does that affect God? Even if you sin again and again, what effect will it have on him? If you are good, is this some great gift to him? What could you possibly give him? No, your sins affect only people like yourself, and your good deeds also affect only humans. People cry out when they are oppressed. They groan beneath the power of the mighty, yet they don't ask, "Where is God, my Creator, the one who gives songs in the night? Where is the one who makes us smarter than animals and wiser than the birds of the sky?" And when they cry out, God does not answer because of their pride. But it is wrong to say God doesn't listen, to say the Almighty isn't concerned. You say you can't see him, but he will bring justice if you will only wait. You say he does not respond to sinners with anger and is not greatly concerned about wickedness. But you are talking nonsense, Job. You have spoken like a fool. Let me go on, and I will show you the truth. For I have not finished defending God. I will present profound arguments for the righteousness of my Creator. I am telling you nothing but the truth. For I am a man of great knowledge. God is mighty, but he does not despise anyone. He is mighty in both power and understanding. He does not let the wicked live, but gives justice to the afflicted. He never takes his eyes off the innocent, but he sets them on thrones with kings and exalts them forever. If they are bound in chains and caught up in a web of trouble, he shows them their sins of pride. He gets their attention and commands that they turn from evil. If they listen and obey God, they will be blessed with prosperity throughout their lives. All their years will be pleasant. But if they refuse to listen to him, they will cross over the river of death, dying from lack of understanding, for the godless are full of resentment. Even when he punishes them, they refuse to cry out to him for help. They die when they are young, after wasting their lives in immoral living. But by means of their suffering, he rescues those who suffer, for he gets their attention through adversity. God is leading you away from danger, Job, to a place free from distress. He is setting your table with the best food, but you are obsessed with whether the godless will be judged. Don't worry. Judgment and justice will be upheld. But watch out, or you may be seduced by wealth. Don't let yourself be bribed into sin. Could all your wealth or all your mighty efforts keep you from distress? Do not long for the cover of night, for that is when people will be destroyed. Be on guard. Turn back from evil, for God sent this suffering to keep you from a life of evil. It's super important to stay humble and to not be, They were just speaking so soon without taking everything into account. Look, God is all powerful. Who is a teacher like him? No one can tell him what to do or say to him, "You have done wrong." Instead, glorify his mighty works. No one can tell him what to do or say to him, "You have done wrong." Instead, glorify his mighty works, singing songs of praise. Everyone has seen these things, though only from a distance. Look, God is greater than we can understand. His years cannot be counted. He draws up the water vapor and then distills it into rain. Jesus Christ is King. I like the Jesus in the background. Thank you. I love him so much. Oh yeah, we need to bring Jenny tacos. Hi Norma. Hi Norma. The rain pours down from the clouds, and everyone benefits. Who can understand the spreading of the clouds and the thunder that rolls forth from heaven? See how he spreads the lightning around him, and how it lights up the depths of the sea. By these mighty acts, he nourishes the people, giving them food in abundance. Thank you. He fills his hands with lightning bolts and hurls each at its target. The thunder announces his presence. The storm announces his indignant anger. My heart pounds as I think of this. It trembles within me. Listen carefully to the thunder of God's voice. As it rolls from his mouth, it rolls across the heavens, and his lightning flashes in every direction. Then comes the roaring of the thunder, the tremendous voice of his majesty. He does not restrain it when he speaks. Hi, Mel. God's voice is glorious in the thunder. We can't even imagine the greatness of his power. He directs the snow to fall on the earth and tells the rain to pour down. Then everyone stops working so they can watch his power. The wild animals take cover and stay inside their dens. The stormy wind comes from its chamber, and the driving winds bring the cold. God's breath sends the ice, freezing wide expanses of water. He loads the clouds with moisture, and they flash with his lightning. The clouds churn about at his direction. They do whatever he commands throughout the earth. He makes these things happen, either to punish people or to show his unfailing love. Pay attention to this, Job. Hi, Justin. We miss you. I missed all of you guys. Thank you, Norma. Thank you. Thank you, Norma. Pay attention to this, Job. Stop and consider the wonderful miracles of God. Do you know how God controls the storm and causes the lightning to flash from his clouds? Do you understand how he moves the clouds with wonderful perfection and skill? When you are sweltering in your clothes and the south wind dies down and everything is still, he makes the skies reflect the heat like a bronze mirror. Can you do that? So teach the rest of us what to say to God. We are too ignorant to make brace yourself like a man, because I have some questions for you, and you must answer them. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me if you know so much. Who determined its dimensions? Hi, Jocelyn. And stretched out the surveying line. What supports its foundations, and who laid its cornerstone? As the morning stars sang together, and all the angels shouted for joy. Who kept the sea inside its boundaries as it burst from the womb, and as I clothed it with clouds and wrapped it in thick darkness? For I locked it behind barred gates, limiting its shores. I said, this far and no farther will you come. Here your bored waves must stop. Have you ever commanded the morning to appear, and caused the dawn to rise in the east? Have you ever made daylight spread to the ends of the earth, to bring an end to the night's wickedness? As the light approaches, the earth takes shape like a clay pressed beneath a seal. It is robed in brilliant colors. The light distributes the wicked and stops the arm that is raised in violence. Have you ever explored the springs from which the sea comes? Have you explored their depths? Do you know where the gates of death are located? Have you seen the gates of utter gloom? Do you realize the extent of the earth? Tell me about it if you know. Where does light come from, and where does darkness go? Can you take each to its home? Hi, Sherry. Do you know how to get there? But of course you know all this, for you were born before it was all created, and you are so very experienced. Have you ever visited the storehouses of the snow, or seen the storehouses of hail? I have reserved them as weapons for the time of trouble, for the day of battle and war. Where is the path to the source of light? Where is the home of the east wind? Who created a channel for the torrents of rain? Who laid out the path of the lightning? Who makes the rain fall on barren land? I know, right, Marcus? In a desert where no one lives, who sends rain to satisfy the parched ground and make the tender grass spring up? Does the rain have a father? Who gives birth to the dew? Who is the mother of the ice? Who gives birth to the frost from the heavens? For the water turns to ice, as hard as rock, and the surface of the water freezes. Can you direct the movement of the stars, binding the clusters of Pleiades, or loosening the cords of Orion? Can you direct the constellations through the seasons, or guide the bear with her cubs across the heavens? Do you know the law of the universe? Can you use them to regulate the earth? Can you shout to the clouds and make it rain? Can you make lightning appear and cause it to strike as you direct? Who gives intuition to the heart and instinct to the mind? Who is wise enough to count all the clouds? Who can tilt the water jars of heaven when the parched ground is dry, and has hardened into clods. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Can you stalk prey for a lioness and satisfy the young lion's appetite as they lie in their dens or crouch in the thicket? Who provides food for the ravens when their young cry out to God and wonder? Thank you, Justin. And wonder about in hunger. I'm reading Job. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Justin and Sherry, so much. Thank you, guys. I'm reading Job chapter 39. So, Job is asking all of these questions, knowing they won't be able to answer them. And I think it's to humble them and to make them realize how much they don't actually know, and that maybe they should stop trying to talk like they know everything when they really don't. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Isn't it kind of funny how, as humans, we want to know everything when it's actually impossible for us to know everything and to know why everything happens? Some people I know can learn from that. I know, right? Yeah, we need to be humble. We need to be humble and not think we're know-it-alls. Hi, Sarah. I miss you too. I hope you're doing well. Are my favorite characters in the Bible? I find their stories so relatable. Same. Same, same, same. Alright, let's keep going. Do you know when the wild goats give birth? Have you watched as deer are born in the wild? Do you know how many months they carry their young? Are you aware of the time of their delivery? They crouch down to give birth to their young and deliver their offspring. Their young grow up in the open fields, then leave home and never return. Who gives the wild donkey its freedom? Who untied its ropes? I have placed it in the wilderness. Its home is the wasteland. It hates the noise of the city and has no driver to shout at it. The mountains are its pasture land, where it searches for every blade of grass. Will the wild ox consent to be tamed? Will it spend the night in your stall? Can you hitch a wild ox to a plow? Will it plow a field for you? Given its strength, can you trust it? Can you leave the trust, the ox, to do your work? Can you rely on it to bring home your grain and deliver it to your threshing floor? The ostrich flaps her wings grandly, but they are no match for the feathers of the stork. She lays her eggs on top of the earth, letting them be warmed in the dust. She doesn't worry that a foot might crush them, or a wild animal might destroy them. She is harsh towards her young, as if they were not her own. She doesn't care if they die, for God has deprived her of wisdom. He has given her no understanding. But whenever she jumps to run, she passes the swiftest horse with its rider. Have you given the horse its strength, or clothed its neck with a flowing mane? Do you give it the ability to leap like a locust? Its majestic snorting is terrifying. It paws the earth and rejoices in its strength. when it charges out to battle. It laughs at the fear and is unafraid. It does not run from the sword. The arrows rattle against it, and the spear and javelin flash. It paws the ground fiercely. Sometimes I struggle to say a word and it makes me laugh. It paws the ground fiercely and rushes forward into battle. When the ram's horn blows, it snorts at the sound of the horn. It senses the battle in the distance. It quivers at the captain's command and the noise of battle. It is your wisdom that makes the hawk soar and spread its wings towards the south. It is at your command that the eagle rises to the highest to make its nest. It lives on the cliffs, making its home on a distant rocky crag. From there it haunts its prey, keeping watch with piercing eyes. Its young gulp down blood. Where there's a carcass, there you'll find it. Hi, Bella. Getting names wrong. Oh my goodness, the names in the Bible. Alright, Job chapter 40. Then the Lord said to Job, "Do you still want to argue with the Almighty? You are God's critic, but do you have the answers?" Job responds to the Lord, "I am nothing. How could I ever find the answer? I will cover my mouth with my hand. I have said too much already. I have nothing more to say." Oh, Bella, I got him from Hallmark. It's kind of funny because Job was talking so much, and as soon as God answers him, he says, "Actually, I have nothing to say." Yeah, I plead the fifth. Exactly. Exactly, Justin. That's so funny. Then the Lord answered Job from the whirlwind, "Brace yourself like a man, because I have some questions for you, and you must answer them. Will you discredit my justice and condemn me just to prove you are right? Are you as strong as God? Can you thunder with a voice like his? All right, put on your glory and splendor, your honor and majesty. Give vent to your anger. Humiliate the proud with a glance. Walk on the wicked where they stand. Bury them in the dust. Imprison them in the world of the dead. Then even I would praise you, for your own strength would save you. Take a look at Behemoth, which I made, just as I made you. It eats grass like an ox. See its powerful lions and the muscles of its belly. Its tail is as strong as a cedar. The sinews of its thighs are knit tightly together. Its bones are tubes of bronze. Its limbs are bars of iron. It is a prime example of God's handiwork, and only its creator can threaten it. The mountains offer it their best food, where all the wild animals play. It lies under the lotus plants, hidden from the reeds in the marsh. The lotus plants raging river, not concerned when the swelling Jordan rushes around it. No one can catch it off guard or put a ring in its nose and lead it away. Can you catch Leviathan with a hook or put a noose around its jaw? Ghostface, are you still here? Leviathan, if I remember correctly, it's a big animal, but I forgot how it. Do you remember how a Leviathan looks like, or like what it is? It's a big sea serpent. Oh, okay. It is. Yeah, it's a big animal, a sea serpent. Literally just wondering if he was in here too. That's scary. Was it real? Then 2 seconds later you said it. Was it real? Or with spiritual and physical significance? It's smaller, you do. I have a smaller version of it too. Like dragons. You can only be slain by God. Whoa. Okay, this is cool. A sea dragon thingy. Yes, what? Oh my goodness, I like that dragon. I like that dragon emoji. It's really cool but scary. No, yeah, it is. Okay, so he says, can you catch Leviathan with a hook or put a noose? I think that's how you say it, a noose around its jaw. Oh, okay. Sherry. Can you tie it with a rope through the nose or pierce its jaw with a spike? Will it beg you for mercy or implore you for pity? Will it agree to work for you, to be your slave for life? Can you make it a pet like a bird or give it to your little girls to play with? Will merchants try to buy it, to sell it with their shops? Oh, I'm reading the New Living Translation. Thank you, Marcos. Thank you. Will its hide be hurt with spears, or its head by a harpoon? If you lay a hand on it, you will certainly remember the battle that follows. You won't try that again. No, it is useless to try to capture it. The hunter who attempts it will be knocked down. And since no one dares to disturb it, who can stand up to me? Who has given me anything that I need to pay back? Everything under heaven is mine. Also, Sherry, I'm on Job chapter 41, verse 12. Job chapter 41, verse 12. I want to emphasize Leviathan's limbs and its enormous strength and graceful form, who can strip off its hide and who can penetrate its double layer of armor, who could pry open its jaws, for its teeth are terrible. The scales on its back are like rows of shields, tightly sealed together. They are so close together that no air can get between them. Each scale sticks tight to the next. They interlock and cannot be penetrated. When it sneezes, it flashes light. That's crazy. Its eye is strength in Leviathan's neck, strikes terror wherever it goes. Its flesh is hard and firm and cannot be penetrated. Its heart is hard as a rock, hard as a millstone. When it rises, the mighty are afraid. I know, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. This thing sounds scary. Gripped by terror. No sword can stop it. No spear, dart, or javelin. Iron is nothing but straw to that creature, and bronze is like rotten wood. Arrows cannot make it flee. Stones shot from a sling are like bits of grass. Clubs are like a blade of grass, and it laughs at the swish of javelins. Ideas like Godzilla isn't entirely new under the sun, right? Its belly is covered with scales as sharp as glass. Yeah, they all get it from the Bible. It plows up the ground as it drags through the mud. Leviathan makes the water boil with its commotion. Well, yeah, it must be real, right? God's talking about it like it's real, like it's a real thing. It stirs the depths like a pot of ointment. The water glistens in its wake, making the sea look white. Nothing on earth is its equal. No other creature so fearless. Of all the creatures, it is the proudest. It is the king of beasts. Then Job replied to the Lord, I know that you can do anything, and no one can stop you. Thank you, Alex. You asked, who is this that questions my wisdom with such ignorance? It is I. It's me, God. And I was talking about things I knew nothing about, things far too wonderful for me. You said, listen, and I will speak. I have some questions for you, and you must answer them. I had only heard about you before, but now I have seen you with my own eyes. I take back everything I said, and I sit in dust and ashes to show my repentance. The Lord blesses Job. After the Lord had finished speaking to Job, he said to Eliphaz the Temanite, I am angry with you and your two friends, for you have not spoken accurately about me, as my servant Job has. So take 7 bulls and 7 rams. Marcos, thank you so much for the hanging lights. I don't think I've ever gotten the hanging lights before. Thank you, thank you. So take 7 bulls and 7 rams and go to my servant Job and offer a was, even though Job challenged the Lord in the way that he did, and even though he was being just ignorant and he was just doing too much. And even though the Lord, kinda got mad at him for a little bit for just questioning God, as if God didn't know what he was doing, he still blessed Job. He still blessed him.